human arm. Oh, I can't. We don't know what's going on there. No, not at all. Interviews, after the rally. So yeah, we want to make sure this keeps up here with you guys and with the other ones. Thank you guys so much. I know.
Okay, guys.
Give me a large hug, like.
Oh,
yeah.
Interaction. Give me a hug, my brother.
What's up, brother?
Oh, you guys are literally a breath of fresh air. Oh, I just want to breathe the air off here. Let's go.
I want to take their picture. The ones that just came out.
They want to have a picture.
Can
we go in too?
Yeah.
Here, let me take it since I'm live streaming. I'll take it.
Come on, Sue.
Okay.
Victory is ours. Victory is ours.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the good advice. Thank you.
See you, Catherine. Thanks.
Thank you. Good night.
Did Danny get her phone?
I would imagine.
Hey, hold on this way 1 second. I don't like bringing down for her because I know she said she left.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you.
You going down? You both going down?
Good to go.
You guys okay with me jumping in? Are you hitchhiking?
Stay strong.
I don't know if I'd want to be in the elevator with those guys.
Okay, everybody needs to say something before we go into anything else. We cannot say on social media that Vern Harper is going out with us. That can't be put out there. I hope nobody's done it.
No, I haven't.
That's
Yeah, and we are live. I know. We're no one's gonna say that.
The ups and downs. I just have to think of how it goes. Okay. Hey,
people, we are the nation, we are the people of this land. We are here, oh, we are here, we are here, oh, we are here. We are here, oh, we are here, we are here, oh, we are here. We are the farmers, we are the warriors, we are the peacekeepers.
Woo! Tahoe!
Good medicine. Woohoo! Where are our people? We need our people to come
I
and
know
stand
we
with
do.
us. Did a lot of people turn up for
Rally?
the rally yesterday? Yeah?
Pretty great.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
We heard about 300
Oh,
on
okay.
Friday. Yeah.
I was here for the one the day before.
Yeah. Oh, the one on Saturday. Yeah, yesterday. You're right. You're right. That's right. It was at 2. That's right.
It was close to 100.
Yeah.
We had a very good turnout.
There's about 12 talks over there, give or take.
I wanted to let everybody know that if you want to help, not only writing to your MPs and your representatives in government, we also ask that there's a Facebook group called Answer the Call, and it has a list of many things that the Attawapiskat youth need, and we must realize that Attawapiskat is not the only reserve in trouble. We have many reserves, many different issues: clean drinking water, housing, health, sewage, numerous list of things that are going on in the reserves that we're not made aware of here in the cities. So answer the call, Facebook group, ask to be a member, join it, and let's get busy on getting some of these things that are asked for to our youth up in Attawapiskat, up in Manitoba. This suicide is rampant, and it's not going to stop until we provide what is needed and share what is needed. And we need to get non-Native people and Native people back here, and the Indigenous people back on the ground and asking for these things that we so desperately need. Miigwech.
And what territory are you from?
I'm from Laxul Nation. I'm Ojibwe, Anishinaabe elder. My name is Wabagoon, flower blooming in spring. I come out and just support my sisters and my brothers, and hope that my sisters and brothers would do the same.
The worldwide audience via the live chat, they're loving your drumming.
Miigwech.
You know?
I'll continue drumming through the day, so just listen on in and keep it coming and keep the comments coming. Write to your MPs, write to our Prime Minister. Let's get this moving. I'm very passionate about this, and I was sitting at home and my drum was calling, and so many things were going on in my body. I said, I gotta go. Here I am. Here I stand with all my sisters and my brothers, hoping that we can get some action and some song going today and get the movement up and running again today.
And you know what? Here you are, and the whole world's watching.
That's what we need. We need speakers to come out and start speaking about this and how important our youth are. They're our next generation. I myself tried suicide when I was young, and it wasn't my time to go. I was put here to come back and to speak for those that are experiencing that now. So it's to move to be uprooted from your reserve or from wherever you come from is devastating. You lose your culture, you lose your language, you lose so many things. And when I was 14, was lost, didn't know who I was, didn't know my family, didn't know my nation, didn't know anything about anything. And now here I stand, elder, sacred pipe carrier, drummer, singer, advocate, protester. And when I'm not doing that, I'm a painter, I am a meditator, I'm a community member, and I'm a woman, and I'm a minority. So let's get all those other people that are all those things, come and join me. I'll sit and paint with you. I'll do anything with you to come and get things moving. Miigwech, have a great day, everybody. I'm I think it's So, how are you today? Yeah? Look good?
Thanks.
Yeah, good.
But I get it.
That's good. Today, that's what always happens. How long have you been?
I got the last
Stayed the night, I think.
You're going to be here, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, my God. Come here.
The two sides of two people running into each other.
Maybe she was meant to stop for a moment.
Yeah. And maybe he was behind the side. Yeah. And it's like two people walking in the opposite direction, but somehow they still hit each other.
I'm just saying that sometimes, like, even when I have my kids, don't watch where they're going, and I have to say, excuse me? We have to be careful of your surroundings.
I think everyone already understands that we all have to share the space that we have. It's just there needs to be a new beginning, so that so all that pain can be acknowledged, right? But until it seems like there's a whole bunch of us who are all attempting to step forward, and we just kind of got to keep doing it until it'll happen. It's coming. It feels good. And so a lot of all the demonstrations I've been to, the feeling that this one's at right now, it's Canada, and it's the truth. I was talking to Devine. I don't remember his name, but my father, when I was a kid, I played hockey, and he was a convener too, so he had to make up the teams, and then he had to coach a team. And then so he sits down with the coaches, and they have all these kids that nobody wants. They've been problems their whole life, and they just think the kids are problems, not that the home life or anything is the problems. So my father's like, I'll take them all. Treats them all fair. Treats them all regularly, all equal playing time. They get to play whatever position they want. They trade places, all these things, and then they're never a problem. And we win year after year after year. And all the ones that would never accept those kids for who they were, they complain that we, right? But all it was just treating them like.
We have a cat that's right now, he is 18 weeks old, and he's running around and he's jumping on us. My arms are scarred, and he just won't stop biting at us. He's bit my face and whatnot, and so I take him aside and I'm like, look. But then before I get my first word out, he'll try to scratch me or something like this. I said, okay, it's time out. It's time to leave you alone and just let you be by yourself for a bit and think about things. He thinks about things all right. He just attacks stuff in the room that I put him in. So I'm looking for a cat specialist if anybody knows of one.
Ask the dog. Hey, tell us about cats.
What he does is the cats are more tempted by things. So like the food, they're much more able to be trained by food. Well, whereas they use food to train a dog, but they actually prefer attention and emotion. And the cats are more like they negotiate for everything. They're like totally in the mind, and they're totally negotiating for everything. They will not change their behavior until you give up something. And so what he does is he stands between the food and the cat until the cat will submit. And then after that, the cat will walk down the street with him. And then I can walk down the street with the dog, and the cat will follow the dog.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm. You can even get the cat to work.
we get the sense that
So the dog's using thermodynamics. It's neat. It's really neat.
that's kind of cool. Our cat, he saved this cat, and I don't know what kind of environment he came from, but he came in and he was angry that he was leaving where he was leaving. But once he got home to our house, he was okay for a while, but now he's going through these stages. So I like to think that they're stages, and that they'll get through it, that we'll get through it. But our four-leggeds are so important to us, so important to us.
It teaches us where our souls, it's like in the white world, they do science, and they always talk about they describe their shoes, the soul, and all these things, but none of them feel their feet. Because to me, they have four souls on the ground.
Okay.
And they have four feelers, completely feeling all the time. And then for us, that's why it feels so good when we take our shoes off on the grass. We can actually feel. And then they put us in a rubber sole shoe, and then we don't feel. We feel artificial, right? Because there's already a space between our feet and the ground that we could never describe. And then we put something between that, which makes the undescribable.
I'm feeling almost.
Yeah. There's a description to what I like. What I know, I'll never understand. It's like trying to describe something that's not real.
Something that's more tangible.
Not that we don't appreciate shoes.
Yeah. I kind of need them.
Yeah.
As much as I was at Hart Park yesterday, and as much as I need my shoes, it was because I had not been surrounded by nature for some time. Putting my bare feet on Mother Earth and touching Mother Earth with my hand I felt the energy just surge through my body. And there's a thing called earthing, and I had foot surgery done. And when I couldn't go to Mother Earth, my husband brought Mother Earth to me and made me a box and put earth in it, and I put my feet in there every day. And it really helped with the healing of the surgery, and it was really nice.
So you said Mother Earth. You can't see, it's right on the other side.
I
I don't think it's that old.
No. Actually,
I didn't. That was just
It was immediate.
cool. Lots of cool stuff happening down here at the site. So come on over to 25 St. Clair East at St. Clair and Yonge and join us, and all these little things that are happening, but they're really big things actually. So lots of spiritual things going on, peaceful things. So not to worry that there's not any danger. We're all very peaceful people.
And there's coffee, fresh coffee that came if you like.
I tend to put water. Could you pass me my cane, please?
Your which? Oh, your
My cane.
I just traded somebody for a plant. Traded a globe for a plant.
Green?
And I was about to offer you 5%, 10%, or 18%. They're all three on right there. Yeah. 18% is Clair in Ontario. It's what we usually found in Zach. They've included it today. I don't know what's going on.
I'm not much of a coffee drinker, so...
I am a coffee connoisseur. I drink 18 to 20 cups a day. It is, in fact, my drug of choice.
Now, is that 18 to 20 cups before you get out of bed?
No, 2 cups before I get out of bed. You know, after that, I gotta get up. You know, can't be lazying around in bed all day. No, that's not what I do for a living. So.
Flower blooming in spring. Okay. And is it spelled G-E-O or J? J. And what is your name? Veronica.
For some reason, all three of you like to say "yar," and I want to get to the bottom of that.
This is not the bar. This is not. Is Yar the bar now?
Yar.
Yar is the bar.
He's known for Yar.
Yeah.
Aha! Okay.
You're trying to turn us into pirates.
Yar! Hey, wow, wait a minute. Yar.
We're on board.
We're on board the ship, eh?
Yar!
The ship feels much better than it did a few years ago.
Here we stand together and take the cookie back.
Actually, Matt,
Occupy. Occupy INAC. That's right, Fuzit. The TPP, TIPA, all those labor agreements will take away the jar, let alone the cookie. That's right. And break it wide open for the corporate greed to be entrenched into law. It would make governments irrelevant. That is the weird part of TPP and all those so-called free trade agreements. It will make local governments irrelevant. Remember those tribunals? They're entrenched in the TPP and all these so-called free trade deals is the protection of the corporation's future rights to profits. So, for example, say you're blocking a road for logging because you want to save the trees. Under TPP, the corporation has the right, for one, to remove you. Absolutely, no question. And then they will sue you. And now you can't, now under the TPP and all these so-called free trade agreements, you can't even go to the normal courts. You go through these so-called TPP tribunals, which is kangaroo court. And we don't know the exact how many, but based on other ones, there's usually 3 arbitrators or so, and most of them are corporate lawyers anyways who are arbitrating. And since the number one mantra of these things is the right for the corporation to protect its future profits, they can make up a number and say that this blockade has cost the company X amount of millions, and you can't dispute that for starters. They can make it up out of thin air, and then they will charge you, and these tribunals, because kangaroo court, will uphold it. So another example, a local government comes up with a new environmental law to protect the water. A corporation that's polluting that water will then sue that local government and say, listen, entrenched in the mantra here is my right to protect my future profits of my corporation. And the kangaroo court will say, and will say, argue as well, the corporation would, that this law will cost us, hey, X marks the spot. They can make up whatever amount they want, and kangaroo court will uphold that. So any local law that infringes on their right.
I live on the
to make future profits gets trumped. Protest gets trumped. Freedom of speech gets trumped. We don't know the full extent of TPP. The fact that it's been years and still we don't have the full text. Enough legislators are voting on it without the full text, which is incredible that we don't. But what little has come out, like, for example, in TPP, 100% full deregulation of Wall Street. It's not, I mean, it's already bad enough. Look at what the hell they've unleashed upon the world, and all of a sudden they want to deregulate it. Another part is heavy censorship of the internet, denial of service, this throttling. I mean, it's just a mess. And that's just the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, all the Pacific Rim countries. And then you got, all these acronyms, you got the North American, the Atlantic version of that, and all kinds of others. Yeah, it's pretty sad. That's right, Mr. Orbit. Come on, people. Let's get back to the people, for the people, not banksters. That's right. And Fuzz It. And Budgie Bird. Hey, Budgie Bird. And yes, Miss Tita, all the way from New Zealand watching. New Zealand is watching. Yes. Fuzz It from the States. Just scrolling back. Mary Tita from New Zealand. Oh, you guys are... Oh, Sunday from Santa Rosa, California is joining us. Human of Evil. Cuz the Crow from Toronto. ER. Well, let's not forget that my adopted homeland of Iceland, we're kicking ass, folks. Are we not kicking ass? The Panama Papers, folks, will make the TP. We'll stop it dead in its tracks. When we get Julian Assange and WikiLeaks is right. That international consortium of journalists that had it in their hands for a year, and they're slowly doling out the information. They're pissed. WikiLeaks and Julian Assange, they're pissed that they should have released it all. And their journalists say, no, we need to, act responsibly, yada, 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 because there might be innocent people, and we're releasing this information. And Julian Assange and WikiLeaks says, look, if they're innocent, the paperwork will prove it. It's mostly, people have stuff to hide. People have stuff to hide. And from D. Shanger, ER. And so with the Panama Papers, look at what Iceland did. They kicked ass the next day, and the Prime Minister of Iceland resigned. And the Pirate Party, my dear friends at the Pirate Party, and old friend Brigitte Jonsdottir, and other, they're riding number one in the polls at 43%. And twice as many as the, 21% for the Independent Party, which is a right-wing party, bankster party. And so we got to kick ass. And this Panama Papers, we got to release all that information. Responsibility, no. Because already, what they released, there's an army of lawyers suing all these responsible journalists and these papers, right? So that the rest of the information doesn't get released. So the Panama Papers have to be released in full, and that will stop them dead in their tracks. It is the scoop of the century. Panama Papers rocks. that song?
That Strong Woman song. That song was written for the women in the prison of women in Kingston, Ontario, when there was rioting going on in the 60s. The song, as you know, doesn't have actual words to it, but when it's sung, you can feel the sorrow and you can feel the emotion of all what was going on. And I think it's a very powerful song. It's sung all across the nation, and the more we sing it, the more power we give to our women.
The Strong Woman song. Miigwech, which means thank you. Food. What's being brought in? You're live to the world. What are you bringing?
These are mine. Okay, better be back. Yep, see you.
Yar. Hello, world. Hello, world.
You look well rested.
Patricia. How you doing, sister?
Really? Patricia, where? Okay, yeah, for sure. I'll see what I can do. I don't have any control of the boss. Chief.
What happened? No,
Why are you going up and down?
I've been looking for you. I just couldn't find you.
I'm looking around.
But I couldn't find you. I went to an hotel and I've been looking for you.
I already go there. Okay.
Just to say, it's here, it's ready. Okay?
You alright?
Indian and Northern Affairs Canada, day 5 of the occupation. The First Nations led occupation of INAC.
Yeah, someone
This song was gifted to me when I was in an accident 2 years ago, and I was really frustrated because I wasn't able to leave my apartment, wasn't able to leave my bed, couldn't walk, could barely move, and I prayed and prayed and prayed, and one day I asked the Creator, and I made my tobacco, and I asked Him to give me a song that I could sing, that when I was in pain, that I wouldn't have to take narcotics, or I wouldn't have to take any pain pills, or any medication, or lessen the medication that I was taking, let's put it that way. So anyways, one day I was in bed, and this song came to me, and it was like, it came out of my mouth, and that was history. Now, so I sang it for each stage of my healing. There were 4 stages to my healing. It was almost like being reborn, from baby to preteen to adult, and now my wisdom years. So it goes like this. Lady hi-oh, lady hi-oh, lady hi-de-hi-de-hi-oh. Lady hi-oh, lady hi-oh, lady hi-de-hi-de-hi-oh. Lady hi-oh, lady hi-oh, lady hi-de-hi-de-hi-oh.
all that.
when we gifted the songs, they are not new songs, or they're not songs that we made up. They are passed down from our ancestors to us, and that they're very, very old songs that Creator wants you to bring back alive. So in doing that, being gifted that song, he started me on my healing path, and as I said, went from laying in a bed right to starting to walk again, to getting back and getting up out of the apartment. And now, again, I've reached the wisdom years, and I'm starting to learn more. Well, I'm a teacher and an elder. I also a student. I'm always learning what Creator has for me, what Mother Earth offers to me. So with these songs, I lay my tobacco and I ask Creator, please give me a song. So that was the song that he gave me, so that's my song that I take around. And with that teaching, that it is possible for you to start at the top and go right around the circle. And so I'm right about here in the circle. And when I get here, I should be well and able to walk without a cane. So I look forward to that day. Good luck.
And then run.
Run, yeah.
And then somersaults, backflips.
Yoga, upward dog, downward dog.
Woo! Rock climbing.
Come on.
Hey,
I don't know about that. We'll see. I see food has arrived for people. Want to thank everybody for all the support that comes in daily and fresh foods. Sweet. You know, you gotta eat them up and clean them up all.
Okay. This is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if they were your children? Would you carry them? I guess I would.
Tell us about your drum.
I'm sorry?
Can you tell us about your drum?
My drum is very sacred to me. I don't allow people to touch my drum. I stay very close to it. I don't leave it unattended. I don't want to offend anybody when I say no, you can't touch my drum. My drum is very sacred, as I said, and carries the spirit of my daughter that I never had. So we are very close, and we keep her very close to my heart. She directs me a lot of ways that when I don't know where to go or what to do, or I hear her calling me and saying, "Mom, let's go. We've got something to do." And that was today. That's what happened today. And I was trying to rest because I've been going so much lately. And she just called out and said, "We've got that protest to go to, so let's go." So up we got. And we came over here together, and we're just singing and doing good things and spreading good medicine around. And anybody that wants to join in singing, male or female, it doesn't matter at this time. Sometimes there's protocols with the men's drum and then the women's drum that we don't sing together. But in this case, I think that we could let that guard down and or that way down and allow everybody to sing together, because this is something that we're all fighting for and all protesting for. So drums are very important in these times, because they're so they're circular. They remind us of the medicine wheel. They remind us of the directions. They remind us of so many different things that are circular and in fours. And the unity button, it is just a remembrance of so many different teachings and so many different ways. So when you see somebody with a drum, always ask if you can touch their drum, because often some places will have lots of drums and you can go and pick any drum you want and use. But when it's a personal drum, there's other things that are attached to that. So just ask, and we'd be happy to tell you about any medicines or anything that we have or we carry and why we do it. And don't be afraid to educate yourself, because we're all here to educate and be mindful of and respectful of other people. And there you have it.
And what materials is it made out of?
Deer skin. This is pine.
And the lacing is deer skin as well, right?
Yes. And there is some glue attached here. It's not one solid piece, but I asked that the rim be in separate pieces, because part of most of my life has been in sort of broken pieces. So it sort of represents my life as in the circle. And but the hide itself was. This is the second rim, but the hide is still the same. So I carried the hide with me, and only the rim changes. And that's just from if it gets too hot or it splits or something, or the hide splits, because this used to be quite a bigger drum. So we just feast it and bless it, and it comes alive. And then you sort of, see what comes within you in that feasting, and what Creator sends to you with the message that He sends. And He sent my daughter's spirit back into the drum. So.
And that's a tobacco offering, I noticed, in the red
It
bag.
is. It's a tobacco offering. This one here was in memory of a friend's baby that passed, that journeyed onto the spirit world. So we did a ceremony, and so I just attached it to my drum because it means so much. And then the tobacco, I always make sure that I have Creator with me, because this is the first gift that Creator gave us as Anishinaabe people, is the tobacco. So I always want to keep it near and dear, A, to my drum, and B, to me.
And the 4 sacred medicines?
Are tobacco, sage, sweetgrass, and cedar.
And what do they, because I know they represent different meanings in different cultures, and you're Ojibwe?
Yes, and the
what
tobacco is representative of our eastern direction. And that one tells the story of our birth and entering the world through our mother's womb. And then there is the sage, which sits in the western direction. The color is black. The tobacco, gosh, you got me now. Hang on. And there's the cedar, and then there's the sweetgrass. The sweetgrass is a braid, and it's often braided, and it's a sign of body, mind, and soul. And it's also representative of strands, that if we have 3 strands and then we braid them together, we become very strong as one. And that's quite important. The cedar is a purification medicine. If you take it and you squeeze it like this, and it's in a bundle. I did a ceremony the other day about, and I made a whole bunch of cedar bundles. And the teaching I took with it was that if you took it, you were having a rough day, you just squeeze it like this with your hand. And here's some cedar right here. But if you take it, and then you just squeeze it like this, and then you just smell it. It just puts this sort of purification, this healing sort of medicine down the core of your body, and you'll feel so relaxed. And it's got so many other healing medicines purposes, because it can be used in tea. You can boil the boughs of it with the cedar in it, in pots of huge, big pots, and then you can pour it into your baths. And it's good for arthritis. You can buy balm and salve to rub on your joints with cedar. So cedar is very important. One lesson that I can teach you is that when you're picking your cedar, pick from the top. Because if you don't pick from the top, the dogs might have been there to visit it and peed on it and whatnot, and you don't want to
have ammonia.
Yeah, you don't want to have that smell on your cedar. So I've done the sweetgrass, I've done the cedar, I've done the tobacco, and the sage, as I said, sits in the western direction. That's where our ancestors sit. And the people that have traveled on before us, we all go there. We'll all be resting in the western direction. So if your auntie and your mom or a family member has passed on, you're sitting in the western direction where the sun sets. And the beautiful sunset represents all their spirits. They're all glowing, and they're all happy, and they're safe. So know that when you look at the sunset, that your family members gone before you are safe. That's it.
Beautiful explanation of everything. And the live chat is really loving that. The world is loving. New Zealand is watching. California.
Hi, California.
Mary Tea Towel. in New Zealand.
In New Zealand. Hi, New Zealand.
And Sunday from Santa Rosa, California.
Hi, California. I have a niece that lives in California. So hello, McRich, for watching.
Mr. Orbit is watching.
Oh, this is so cool.
Fuzz it. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through
And if
a
you have any
bunchy
questions,
bird.
like I said, if you ever have questions, ask them. Don't be afraid to ask them because somebody's willing to share the knowledge with you. If I don't know it, because I don't know everything, and don't claim to, because I'm still a student too. As much as I am a teacher, I am a student. I'm equal in both ways. So I love to hear new teachings. So if you want to share teachings with me, just go right ahead, and I'd love to learn too.
Live stream is a beautiful thing, where on one side it's what we're doing here on the screen, and the other side is the live chat.
Yes.
And it's like a yin-yang. That combination of that discussion of what's going on screen and what's going on the live chat is beautiful when it's working beautifully.
Well, we're all in balance, right? We have
Yeah.
live chat, and then we have live things going
Feed,
on over
yeah.
here. So I'm glad that New Zealand and I'm glad that California knows what's going on over here. Keep us in your hearts and minds, and we're all together this in solidarity. So McWitch.
Thank you, that means. And yar in Ojibwe is yar.
Thanks, Steve.
Yar in Mi'kmaq is yar. You
And
know,
with that, I'll close it with a song.
beautiful. Remind everybody who you are.
My name is Wabagoon from Laxul Nation, Treaty 3. I'm of the Loon Clan. I am a sacred pipe carrier of the white sacred pipe and of the red ceremonial pipe. And I am a wife and a mother, and artist, painter, drummer, singer, activist, and all those good things. So, McWitch for today. Thank you.
Miigwech. Some of the vibe here.
That was a good song. I love that song. That's
INAC building. We're on the 8th floor.